Hey, guys, a part of the reason that I am making this video is that I previously made a video today, or was it yesterday, in which I said that I want my very first intimate and sexual relationships to be with real women and not trans women. And that video actually received a few dislikes. Like maybe people were suggesting that now I am having some discrimination towards trans women, which previously I said that I don't have any discrimination towards, and I'm attracted to them also as long as they look feminine as real women and they are pretty and attractive in their face and in the rest of their body, which is also true. Now you see, I am attracted to women of all types. I mean, not of all races. I am not attracted to black women, for example. Not because of racism, I'm simply not attracted to them and never was. But I mean, I'm attracted to both real women and trans women. Yes, so long as their appearance and to some extent also behavior is attractive to me. But you see, now that I think of it, I must have some level of discrimination towards trans women. Not that I wouldn't treat them well or want to like date or fuck them or be fucked by them or anything like that. Not in that sense. I have to discriminate them a bit in the sense that I would give them less preference than real women because they are not fully women. They were not born female, therefore they don't have a genuine female bone structure and a female brain that was born female. You see, males and females are born with different brains, although I believe that hormones affect that as well, and yes, they do use hormones. And obviously they don't have a vagina. If they were hermaphrodites, like they'd have both penis and vagina, that could be a bit of more curious, but the lack of vagina is also slightly upsetting because I can't help it that a vagina is a lot more attractive than the anus. Naturally, because the vagina is a sex organ and the anus is used like sex organs, but it's mostly used for taking a shit. Naturally, it's a lot less attractive than the vagina. The thing is that a woman with a penis is like, it's like interesting in the sense of variety, and also, like I said, there's the thing of how the woman looks like, her full body and facial attractiveness, regardless of what type of sex organs she possesses. But nevertheless, transsexual women, even if they are anywhere like between eight, even if they reach like very high levels of femininity and similarity to real women. Like, for example, like if they were born with a female sexual identity and thereby their brain might be somewhat feminized since birth, and also they were born with a female like petite gentle bone structure, and that they decided to make the transition at a relatively younger age, so they spent some of their like growing up years were as female, which also makes a significant contribution, or if they have visible boobs which make them look more feminine like, and if they have really feminine faces and personalities, even if they are very feminine trans women, which is exactly the type of trans women that I like, they are still not real women. And it doesn't mean that I would not date them or not want to date or have sexual experiences with them. No, it doesn't mean that I would. But being a man who is expected to like women and does, I can't help it but to think that it's the right thing to do to give real women some advantage. Specifically, that I would highly prefer it if both the very first relationships of mine would be with real women rather than trans, and also that statistically I would date more real women than trans women. That I would not let the trans thing in any way have more significance to me than the real woman thing. So I would not be the trannies guy. Not like it's such a horrible thing, but I prefer to be more the CIS women guy than the trannies guy. I want to be more of the real women guy than the trannies guy. I want to give the real women part more advantage. I can't help it because I think that it's the right thing to do. Also, I'm usually more interested naturally in actual women than trannies. And when I watch porn, it is most usually to real women and only sometimes to trannies. So it's not like trannies don't have a part at all, but even naturally, real women are most often preferred sexually. There's that. However, I would most certainly prefer a tran- transsexual woman whom I find to be attractive to a woman whom I don't find to be attractive. There is no doubt about that. But you see, I want to be a position in which I don't have a lack of option. I don't want there to be scarcity. I want abundance in everything, especially if it matters. So, with women and relationships and sex and intimacy, I want to have an abundance of choices. Many beautiful young women available to me at my fingertips, both real women, transsexual women, of the entire age range that I could possibly be interested in, which is a big age range anywhere from 14 to 35, which is an extremely logical choice because you see, 14 is the lowest popular age of consent in the world, also in Europe and advanced countries. It's not the lowest age of consent in the world, nor in an advanced country, with the lowest in the world being 11, and in advanced country, which is Japan, being 13. But it is the lowest popular age of consent both in Europe and in advanced countries. Therefore, 14 is a very good choice. And don't tell me that it's a child. It's not a child, it's a teenager. There's a difference. A teenager is a step between a child and an adult, but it is not a child, it is a teenager. And with it being such a popular minimal age of consent in several advanced countries in the world, big countries, it means that it is fine, even if it's not in the United States, Israel, or United Kingdom. I decide by the majority and by what makes sense to me on the global level rather than this country or that country. So 14 is fine as a minimal age. Now 35, why 35 is such a logical number? For two reasons. The first reason is that the ideal range would obviously be 14 to 28, because 28 is the double of 14 and is the maximum age at which a woman may appear very young, which is what I'm attracted to. And the 35 thing is if I wish to extend it somewhat, the maximum, the double of 14, which is 28. So I multiply it by additional 25%, and then we got 35. So it's like an age range in which the maximal age is 2.5 times bigger than the minimal age. That's the first reasoning. And the second one is that 35 years old both in my personal online research of looking at women's photos, and also according to a research by some Japanese cosmetics company, 35 years old is the age when women start to significantly age and look older. So I definitely do not want someone who is over 35. Mind you, some women start to look significantly older even before 35. But as I don't want to limit myself, I choose this big range between 14 and 35. Yes, and I want to have a big selection of all types of women in that range, but I prefer it if my very first, at least my very first intimate and sexual relationship is with the 14 years old girl, because as I'm a virgin and I never had any sexual experience, and also as my penis is small right now, although I do believe it can be fixed in the future, I would like a rather small, petite, 14 years old girl with a fresh body and a fresh mind also. And I would treat her well, and I would want both sides to ideally enjoy the relationship. But that's what I think that I would like